this fucking thing. I don't know if I'm live yet or not. I can't tell. As always, I seem to be having technical problems, but I don't think I'm alone when it comes to technical issues these days on whether it's YouTube or Google or FaceTime, you name it, we've got issues. So again, I can't tell if I'm streaming. It's not coming in yet at this point on mine. Maybe it is on yours. I can't tell. Hi, Chrissy. How are you? I appreciate you here. Chrissy, I don't know. Can you see me yet? It's excellent condition. It says it's supposed to be here. I can't tell. I still don't see myself, so I don't know. So you can let me know, guys. Hi, Sam. How are you? There we are. Love it. Can you see me? I can't see you. Anyway, it's the 21st. Maybe you can hear me. I still can't see anything. Today's the 21st. Fantastic day. I hope everybody's been out and about really celebrating this amazing day of a short day of shadows and a short day of sunlight. I see a picture of me too. I don't know why we're not getting any kind of imagery. Maybe it's just delayed. I have no idea. It should be. Hold on a second. 2 seconds, guys. Hang on. Oh my God. We're going to go this direction tonight. How's that? May not be as great, but it's working. Right? Somehow or other my phone got all screwed up because we've got multi things here. This is where I get so frustrated with tech. Right? With tech. So let's see if this is going to work. I've been setting this up for 10 minutes. You'd think it'd be all dialed. Okay, there we go. Okay, are we in? We're in. Golly, crazy. And it's been such a super day. I have to share with you, it's been an amazing day. I went with 2 other women and we created what I call a trinity, a pyramid of energy, and we went out to literally the center part of the state of Oregon. We went to a little town called Post, and the reason we did this is because about 2 months ago, I got this download that Oregon was this very special spot. Well, it's also a very negative spot right now on the planet, which is quite unfortunate. Maybe another reason why I'm here. I kept thinking why I'm in this very negative state. However, there's so much beautiful energy too. So we went to the center of the state, and the reason is that there are ley lines that connect in with the global grid like arteries. It's not the major grid, but it's the small grid. And there was a gentleman that I read about a long time ago that when he worked with the grids of the planet and he opened them up, he knew that the people ahead of him would be very positive, that the warring tribes, the natives, the Aboriginal tribes of Central and South America would not be headhunters. So I know that the grids are really important. So I got this download that heading out to the grids was really important. Thanks, guys, everybody, for being here. Thank you, thank you. By the way, I'm looking over here. But the grids are an integral part of what's going on with not only the planet, but also the solstice. So we went out there today to work with the grids in Oregon as well as the global grid. Now, how does this tie into everything? What's so cool is that the Uluru, and I hope I say that right, Ayers Rock in Australia, the Aboriginal people there have prophesized this day in the sense that there was going to be a black box from the Pleiades that would be open and the portals would be open. And they also talked about the ley lines and the grids. So the grids, the solstice, very important. And I got this a couple months ago, so it was a perfect day to do this. Now, what's important to understand, I'm going to share a little bit about what we did, is we took, again, 3 of us went out to the center of the state. It was killer gorgeous, almost 60 degrees. We sat in the sunshine right above the river, and it's pretty desert actually out there. It's a high desert, and we just soaked up the sun. I'm one of those who's less in terms of less is more, less accoutrements. They tended to bring a lot of extra goodies, which was great. We had a black pyramid. We had a heart of amethyst. And then we had candles. We had sage stick. We had, speaking of, got cats in here. We had a sage stick. We had singing bowls. We had a Tibetan prayer stick that made this wonderful sound. I had copper dowsing rods. I also had taken a deck of crop circle cards so that we could tap into the energies of the crop circle, since they have added so much energy to the planet of positive energies. So with that said, what we did is we tapped into after we smudged ourselves, and we thanked all the elements, literally the 4 elements, the earth, the air, the water, and the fire elements. And then we did this visualization after smudging and went down into the crystal core and brought that energy back up through our bodies and activated the crystal within our pineal glands to help break the shackles so that we can be more active. We then went into the galactic center, then dropped that energy back down, and then we tapped into the earth lines, the ley lines, the energy grids that literally, I have a cat, sorry, down there, activate this planet. Now, I know I've mentioned this before, but this is really cool information. When we were created, way back when, and we basically have, sorry, I have a wild cat in here. Basically, we have 22 strands of different DNA in our bodies of ETs. And when we were being created, those who were in charge wanted to make us slaves to basically mine their gold and to get the elements and the minerals from our planet to take elsewhere. And they thought that the grid lines of the planet would actually control us. Well, guess what? Gaia is on our side, and the grid lines actually activate us. They align us, they energize us, and make us more conscious. At that time then, because we weren't able to be controlled, what did they do? They then created a religious format for us to control us. Let me think. Anybody been controlled through religion or by religion? In the multiverse, throughout the multiple timelines, through the multiple lifetimes we've all had? Absolutely. And we're still being controlled by the church and churches and or the other various religions that we have, right, that have dogmas that control us. So another reason to tap into the ley lines of the planet. And so that's what we did today. Now what's really important, you can do these kinds of cosmic exercises yourself. You don't need all the accoutrements that we had. I'm one of those that, again, like I said, less is more. So a lot of times when you do these kinds of things, you can do them all within intention, all within your mind, and then make those activations just as strong as when you have all the tools. However, the other piece is we're humans, right? And humans need visuals. You know, that's how we're wired. We're very emotional. We're caring beings, and we need symbols. So if you are in the mood to do some activations yourself and you need some tools to do it, you just heard my list. You can use those. You can use anything you want, even going back to old rosary beads, because, you know, think about when you say the rosary, you go through it and you are very mindful in how you speak. You are very mindful in how you go through it, so it's very zen. So when you do these things, just think what you can accomplish. Today, when we brought the energy up and we activated the pineal gland, because again, the pineal gland is our gland that connects our bodies with the cosmos. And when we break away those shackles, we are that much more intuitive, that much more conscious. What's happened through the centuries of dogma, through the centuries of control, through the last century of chemicals, the pineal gland, which is our intuitive resource to the universe, has become very, very calcified. And so because of that, our ability to be intuitive has really, really become shackled. So the more mindful you are about what kind of food you put into your body, how much water you put into your body, how many minerals you put into your body, because we need those minerals to be very connected to the earth. It's when we do those things, it's when we have that great opportunity to really activate our intuition, to connect in with the cosmos. And so today was a very special day. Why? Solstice. Solstice being the shortest day of the year, the shortest shadows. And that's why the sacred sites around the planet have always followed the line of the sky, the line of the sun, the shortest day, the longest day, the equinoxes, and have made them very ceremonial initiation portals for all of us. What's interesting about that, of course, through all the dogma, we have forgotten those cycles. And the solstice, I believe, used to be the beginning of the new year, right? If you also put this into context, the solstice is 3 days of quiet where the sun stands still. And so it gives us that opportunity to really go inward and align with the energies. And then after 3 days, guess what? We start gaining minutes and minutes and minutes of sunlight once again. So of course, to the ancients, this was very ceremonial. It was very important. And it's just as important today. Now, even as a child, and my mom even mentioned this the other day, she goes, this has always been important to you. Even when I was a little girl, I tapped into the shortest and the longest day. I remember going outside to make sure I could see every little bit of sunlight, you know, whether it was on the shortest day, longest day. It's just a magical time. And I have to share something very personal about today that I couldn't believe the synchronicities. And the reason I want to share this is because the more you are aware and pay attention to the synchronicities that are always coming your direction, the more they come, the more they happen. Okay, my synchronicity today was I had to check the weather. We had talked about going yesterday because with the weather, we thought tomorrow or yesterday might have been good because we would have been synced in with Australia. Well, rained yesterday, 4 inches up in the mountains, bagged it, right? So today I checked the weather. I'm checking the weather, and on my phone, I can't make this stuff up. It's so cool. The sun set here at 4:28 p.m. and the temperature was 52 degrees. Well, for those of you, and everybody in here knows me, which is really great, my favorite number, and has been a repeating number in my life now for a very long time, is 52. So 52 degrees. 4:28 p.m. is the minute that I was born. It was in January, it wasn't December, but it was the exact time. So everything, all the energies lined up. And so to me, it was even a more magical day. So with that being said, I invite all of you to really pay attention to the synchronicities that happen in your life, because they line up and they're magical and they're amazing, and they are here as reminders that we're right on track, which is really, really awesome. So I had to share that because between the download that I got a month ago and then what we did today, and the weather was so warm, almost 60 degrees today. We could just sit outside with a couple jackets on. It was amazing. So with that, I want to tap into, because we tapped into crystal energy. As always, we pull a card, again, just because I like bringing that energy and I like bringing in the minerals. Just on a side, what I have found through decades of doing this is that most people are very low in minerals. And if I can invite you all to make sure that you are taking a multi-mineral, because we are not connected to the earth. The minerals ground our bodies into the earth so that we are stronger, our bones are stronger, our connective tissues are less achy, they are more vital. The minerals keep our brains sharp. So it's so important, because we're not getting the minerals from our water anymore or from our food. So minerals, very, very important. And that's why I always bring in the crystals, because the crystal energy really helps tap into our psychicness, but also taps into our physicality, which is, let's face it, folks, we are physical beings. So what's fun about this, my kids are here for the holidays, And I had my younger son, who is staying here, so you can see all the stuff in the back, with his wife. And I said, Colton, I'd like to have you pick a card for tonight. And I said, I took my boys outside tonight to look at Jupiter and Saturn in alignment. So cool. 60 degrees in Georgia today too. Great. That's awesome, Chrissy. You know, I still haven't seen it when I was driving home because I got home just a little bit ago. Sorry, my glasses are reflecting off the light. We had clouds that had just come in off the Cascade Mountains to the west of us. So I didn't see it. But after we were done tonight, I'm going out to look. Now, here's a little something too, is that I really find that the energy of the sky, even if it's not as bright as we think it is, we're going to think it's this huge, huge light that just blinds us. It's more of an energetic shift right now that's happening on the planet, and that's the important piece. So, what is our stone for this week? It's very cool. I really like this. It's green with purple. It's stitched tight in serpentine. Again, I'm going to show it to you. Isn't that gorgeous? Not pretty? Okay. And you can't make this stuff up. It is aligning so perfectly. It's all about meditation. It's about clearing your energy centers. It's about detoxifying, adding minerals. I added that in. And detoxifying your thoughts. So think about that. Meditation, we did that all afternoon. Visualization. To me, meditation could be in a walk. It can be gardening. It can be cooking. It can be just sitting quiet with a cup of tea, staring at a fire, at a candle, sitting under a tree. Meditation doesn't have to be doesn't have to be that way, because when we think it has to be a certain way, we won't do it. We don't stick with it. So when you do what works best for you, then you'll repeat it. Okay? Very important. So meditation, visualization, visualize right now what you want, what I want, what we all want for this next shift. And we're going to talk about this after I do this portal shift that we are in right now. It's just so cool. So meditate on what it is you desire, what you want to create, not only this next week, what you want to create in the next month and the next year. And on that note, I have to share, one of the women who was with us today is from Czechoslovakia. She escaped communist Czechoslovakia. Her story is quite fascinating, and she is quite troubled about what is happening in the United States right now. And she moved here, she defected on purpose to get away. Well, anyway, she was sharing with us one of their traditions, and as of the solstice, you take 12 days and you visualize what you want for each month. So today would be January, tomorrow is February, and on through all the way through December. So what you're doing with each day is you are visualizing, you are manifesting ahead of time, which is what we need to do, is put it into the future date so it happens. They've been doing this for how many centuries? Don't know, long time. So think about that. Tomorrow, or we can use today, how do you want to see January? How do you want to see February? How do you want to see March? Personally, I would like to see some heads roll. That's what I'd like to see. I would like to have the truth come out. I'd like to have the truth delivered here in the United States so that it can be revealed throughout Canada, Mexico, Germany, Ireland, Scotland, on and on and on, right? So these are things you can add into your personal visualizations, your personal mantras for January, February, March, etc. Okay, so something to think about. It's very fun. So meditations, clearing your energy centers. Okay, we did this today too. Clearing your energy centers. Think about your chakras. Really start putting the energy into your root, which is red, which is all about family. It's about tribal. It's about commitment and loyalty. It's about jumping in and having courage, not being stuck in fear. And red people, because I do the whole soul race things, red people are all being very, very spontaneous. So if you can really tap into that red energy, clear that center out, be courageous, don't be in fear, stop with the fear nonsense. Enough, no more fear. Think about where your fears are. It's time to detoxify them, clear them out. Second, orange, all about your childlike wonder, your ability to be sensuous, meaning tapping into the sensuousness of the planet, smelling, tasting, touching, hearing, feeling, right? All of those things, really tap into that. And that's what children do. They tap into that. The sensuousness and the joy and the bliss. It's also about expanding your intellect too. I'm looking at this, I'm thinking I gotta do my chakras. Third, of course, is about your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your willpower, empowering others. So clear that out with yellow energy, and just really, really focus on that one, because that's one of our major ones right now as we move out of third density and move up into fourth and eventual fifth, is to clear out that energy, because this is what we all are challenged with, is that third density energy. Move up into your heart, expand your heart, open up your heart to green energy, which is caring, compassion, empathy, relationships, emotion, love, being of service. And if there are any of those where they are repressed or blocked, time to open that up, right? Open up those chakras. Throat is all about speaking your truth. And right now, everybody needs to speak their truth more than ever before in life. Do not be shy. If somebody's pissing you off, or they get in your face, or they shame you, send them love and light, but speak to them. Do not just walk away. Send them, turn them around and send them love and grace, and speak your truth. You know, and it's just, I can't even empower you enough. I can't express to you enough how important this is. Third eye, of course, is all about opening up our intuition, opening up that indigo ray of that visionary self within all of us, really activating and opening up that pineal gland so that we are more conscious, more mindful, more intelligent, and more conscientious, right? Very big stuff. Crown, violet ray, open this up, open up these energy centers. This is all about being the seer, being able to visualize being on the top of the mountain and seeing ahead, okay? Crown chakra. And then your upper chakras, and connect to source. Boom. So there you go. There's clearing of your energy centers and detoxifying your thoughts. So think about what they're doing to us right now. They're telling everybody to go wash their hands a billion times, take off our natural ability to ward off viruses and bacteria, because our body does it naturally. Okay, detoxifying our body and wearing these damnable masks and everything else, and separating. Right now we need to be with our friends, we need to be with our loved ones more than ever, and being together is essential. So when we go into that thought of having detoxify our hands, detoxify your mind by visualizing a waterfall over your head and washing through, and then going literally through your body and out your feet and into the ground with love and light, detoxifying that, just clearing that out. The other thing you can do too is visualize, and having it around your all your thoughts in here. Send it love and light, so it's a bright light. Take it and take it outside your energy fields. Let it go. Clearing out your mind, so important, because right now there's so much negative energy right now. Very important. So, okay, now let's read this, and then away we go. Fear and negative thoughts are preventing you from experiencing peace and joy in your life. Anybody out there having that issue? Just if you read the news or whatever, let me think. They are blocking your creativity, and as a consequence, your life seems dull and dreary. Well, because we're all locked in. I mean, you can change this situation by consciously choosing to love and trust the universe instead of fearing it. There we go. Boom, slam, dunk. There it is. Sit quietly in meditation. Invoke the healing power of love, imagining yourself bathed in beautiful healing energies. Visualize all the colors of the rainbow. We just did that. Swirling within and around you. Feel these beautiful healing colors flowing through your mind and heart, and imagine your thoughts being infused with eternal light. Practice each day, as it will help transform your negative and fearful thoughts to positive inspirations. There is nothing to fear. You are eternally surrounded by love. And more people need to hear this, because fear is like the #1 controlling factor right now on the planet. And yeah, absolutely, if any of you are dealing with any shadows of fear within yourself, it is time to pull those shadows out, put them in the light, and look at it as to what's really scaring you. The propagation of this fear over this pandemic, will that get me kicked off? I don't know. The pandemic is to scare us about death, right? We're all going to die anyway. Embrace life instead. So if anybody in your life is worried or fearful, ask them why. I mean, my challenge, as you guys all know me, I'm a warrior, so sometimes I have a little patience with lack of courage, and it's like, buck up, it's time to go. And it's how I raise my kids. My son will tell you that. Buck up, buddy, it's time to go. No fear, let's go. And you just push through it. So it's really important for you to bring those fears out of the shadows and into the light, okay? And really visualize it as a the fear as a character, or a caricature, or a blob, or a shadow, and visualize them, pull them out so you can look at them and have a chat with it, so it no longer is disempowering you in any way. So now I got to segue back, because there was one more thing. I just caught this over here. This is really kind of fun too, because the fear that's being propagated is, of course, by some major players on the planet. We've got Fauci, we've got Bill Gates, we've got George Soros, we have the Clintons, we have Barry and Big Mike, right? We have these characters, we've got the CCP. I don't count Putin in this because Russia really isn't an issue. And even for those in Canada, we have the Prime Minister of Canada, because he is a Prime Minister. He is not the Prime Minister anymore. He's been taken over. But if we look at these people, these caricatures, these characters, these role models, they all signed up to be Darth Vader because that we need them. So I want to thank them all, actually, even though they piss me off. I want to thank them for signing up for such a difficult role. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the bad guy. I wouldn't want to have an Academy Award for being the major bitch. I personally couldn't deal with it. Hillary Clinton obviously likes that role. Big Mike obviously likes that role, right? She's a piece. So these people signed up for this. Ellen DeGeneres, I can keep going down the list. These people signed up for these roles on purpose so that we have them as a backdrop on what not to do, what not to be, to stand up and say, it's kind of like stand up and deliver. We are not going to go that route. We are going to unify instead. So it's really easy to love to hate them. So we need to love them for what they have done to create this intersection in time, this chaotic moment of literally lifting us up to the next level. And when I did this, I had this other download of information just last week that today, this portal, this ability for us to step through into a higher frequency, this is enabling us to get a breath of oxygen, literally to lift ourselves up into a higher vibrational oxygen level. Because what have they done? They've been masking us and taking away our oxygen. Now here's the cool part, that the players that have been involved with this, and there is a reptilian level that have been involved, the ETs. Oh, Sonia, are you on with me? Maybe she's doing, sorry, I gotta do this. Is that the ETs have definitely had some impact on us, the reptilian group. And as we move through this solstice, as we move through this portal right now, visualize the door, and we are going through this door. And as we do, there's a stairwell up, and we're going up to a higher plateau. When we raise our vibrations literally to a higher vibration, we are at a higher plateau, like on a mountain where the oxygen is less. Well, guess what, folks? We can still breathe, whereas the reptilians, which are at a lower vibrational frequency, a lot of them are underground. I know this is kind of a segue, but this is what I got in my download, and that's how it relates to today, is that they will no longer be able to breathe, which is what has been propagated to us now for nearly a year. Well, the good news right now, the universe is conspiring, the solar system is conspiring, and the earth herself and activating her grids are all in alignment and conspiring to help humanity to raise our vibrations so that we can breathe. And for those who can no longer, who are now cast from the shadows, I had to segue my thinking there for a second, out of the shadows and into the light. And as we've raised, we're literally like climbing up Kilimanjaro as an example, where the air is thinner. They can no longer sustain themselves. So my sense is this group of ETs will no longer be on the planet, because they will no longer be able to reside here in this frequency. in this elevation. I hope that makes sense. So knowing that, it's like high five everybody. So I want you to all get in the habit of being on top of a mountain where the air is thinner, but you get acclimated. Your lungs actually become stronger. We become healthier. In fact, a lot of athletes today will go to the higher mountains, to the where the oxygen is less, so that they can go in and tap in and really expand their lung power. They can tap into their inner strength and resilience. And when we do that, we become stronger. So the more we visualize right now that we have raised our vibrations enough, we're up on the top of the mountains. I don't care if you want it in the top of Shasta or Mount Baker or Kilimanjaro or wherever. You're up there where the air is thinner, but we are getting stronger. And then the lower vibrational beings on this planet are losing their capacity to maintain their energies here. And when that happens, we as humanity gain our sovereignty. We as humanity become free. And we become free to develop our own special gifts, our own special powers. We have the ability to tap into our creativity and our connection to source in ways that we haven't been able to do because we've been under the thumb of dogma. We've been under the thumb of control, whether in this lifetime it's under the media and or the church, and if you go back in time, under really the auspices of government and the church and the religions, lack of awareness, lack of knowledge, lack of sciences, because science is important. Everything is important. The bridging of science and mind, the bridging of science and spirituality is where we are headed. That's what Aquarius is. And as of today, we've just moved into Capricorn. And with this conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, we are moving into the Aquarian age. It's so cool. Now, we're not completely anchored into it, but it is our beginning into the Aquarian age. And I'm just so excited. I'm so elated. I'm like a little kid today. I've been jumping up and down like a little kid. And I literally just took off my hiking boots because we were out hiking in the mud today. So if I can encourage you all to really tap into your own ability to breathe the air, breathe the oxygen, hike up to the tallest hill you can be around so that you are at a higher vibration. Not only that you can see visually, but you can feel physically, and that you can then just bring that into your consciousness. I think this is just huge. It's so exciting. So those are my two things. Okay, remember that the bad guys, we just have to thank them for being assholes and bad guys, because we need them. Because if we were all sweet and light, we wouldn't move through this portal. We would not move through this shift. And that's what this is. And we moved right today, like I said, Jupiter and Capricorn, Jupiter and Saturn, as we are in conjunction, are lining up in Capricorn right now. Now, here's this kind of fun too, is that if you think about this, Capricorn, I have to always write these things down just to remind myself, it's all about being steadfast and loyal, full of tenacity. And you combine that with Saturn, which is all about rules and regulations and law. We are coming into a fabulous revealing of the truth right now, because so many truths have been buried. I mean, for those who know me, and those who are in here, I've got people in here followed me from TikTok. TikTok locked me down, shut me out, forever banned, because I spoke up and spoke the truth. I feel like I'm in good stead because many people have been locked out. A lot of people are moving platforms. So the good news, again, as with Capricorn, Jupiter and Saturn align, Capricorn, we are going to have some major truths between now and the first of the year. Big stuff. And I've been trying to figure out who's the first head that's going to be falling. I don't know. I wish I knew. But who it is going to influence the world, which is really good. I've been trying to tap into it. I'm probably too close to it to really to get it. Now, if we put all of this energy together and we're tapping into this higher frequency of all the cosmos aligning with the planet, we've got some characters, again, characters in our play, just like we have the bad characters, we have the good players out there. And one of those is Sidney Powell. She is the Joan of Arc right now in terms of the globe. She is going for it from such a high place of power within herself, and she is impacting the world from this. So when we recognize these people that are doing such powerful wonderful, good things in the world, but also good mirrors into our own lives. How can we be the Joan of Arc? How can we, take up the trumpet, if you will? If you, visualize all of these different things where you can be of service. That's what this new thing, this new portal, this new energy field is all about. Now, today is the solstice, as we know, shortest day, shortest shadows. And so I put it out there that for some questions, okay, which is really kind of fun. And I love having questions from the audience to really help figure out what's most important right now, what needs to be answered, because I think about this all the time, and so my head's always spinning, but sometimes maybe what I talk about isn't always clear, or maybe what's going on isn't always clear. So having qualifying questions, I think, is really a positive. Now, what we see around us are timelines. It's a matrix. It's a fabrication of our mind. As we know, we live in a simulation in some ways. So with that, I'm going to hold on to that, because through the solstice, shortest day, 3 days of quiet. Let me see my questions on the solstice. Why is it different than any other days? Because again, of the 365 days of the year, it's the shortest day. And whether it's here in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere, it doesn't matter. It's still the shortest day. And then we have the longest day, of course. And then this is a great question. Is it a yin or yang energy? And for me, this energy in the winter, again, it will be reversed in the southern hemisphere, but the winter solstice is going to be very yin, very feminine energy, very receptive, whereas the summer solstice is very yang, very masculine, very out there, full of energy. This is all about being incredibly receptive. So the more receptive you are, it's a great question, by the way. It's all about going into the feminine within ourselves, going within our own emotions. Great question, thank you. So this is another one. Why do we celebrate? It's because this has been part of the ecology, almost, of the fabric of humanity, because we've always paid attention to the cosmos, to the stars, to our natural world around us. And by being aware of what's going on with the sun, the ancients were able to then calculate their ability to plant, to grow, to hunt. I mean, that's why the moons are all called different moons, because they were very tied into nature. With that being said, that's something we all need to really tap into again, is our natural connections, because we've been so disconnected from nature. And the more we tap into our natural rhythms again, the happier, the healthier, the more intuitive we become. So that's why, again, if we tap into like the ancient cultures did, we are going to be more aligned. Now, this is very interesting too, is why am I so tired? Isn't there more light? Well, not yet. There isn't more light yet. And I really feel if you are experiencing like this questioner is being a little more tired, it is probably because of so much external stress out there. And all of us here are light workers. And I'm just looking at you now. It's okay, you're late, you're here, it's great. Is that if you are running tired, it's because you're probably filtering and sustaining and helping transmute energy out there for the entire planet. Could be your community, could be your town, could be the county, could be the state, could be the province, could be, you see what I'm saying? The bigger picture. And so many people, so many light workers right now are tired because we're tapping into this as we're literally almost like Atlas holding up the earth. We are all, imagine we all have ropes and we're pulling everybody up when we're going through this portal. And as we move into next year, it's going to be easier, and it's going to lighten up by March. We're not there yet. Sorry, it's gonna be spring. However, the more you take care of yourself, imagine yourself again on top of that mountain, getting that fresh air, really expanding those lungs from that level, the less tired you will be. Also right now, we are going to be low in sunshine. So vitamin D, at least 10,000 milligrams of vitamin D every day. And the reason is not only does it help with, it's a happy hormone, but it helps be like the sun within your mind. It's also going to really help your immune system. That and some good B complex will also give you the extra energy. And if your adrenals are running tired, which can happen with a lot of people that are stressed, ashwagandha is one of your best herbs to help support that. So you get those combinations and your tiredness will start to dissipate. Also going to bed, right? I'm the worst. I never go to bed. So, okay, now here's some more questions. Where am I on time? Ooh, we still have time. Okay, good. Timelines, okay? We are shifting, okay, into this higher vibration. So that means we are moving into a different timeline. So what do timelines mean? Because you're going to hear this a lot. And you even hear this, I find this so fascinating, that people in the news today are using timelines as vernacular. I just find that fascinating because it's been in what I would call the metaphysical worlds for a very long time, and it's now part of our lexicon. It's just, I find it interesting. Well, imagine this. If timelines are hard for you to get your head wrapped around, what do we have on the planet? 7 point how many billion people today? We got a lot of people on the planet, but everybody's here on purpose. It's so great. We do not have too many people here. We need every soul here right now because we need the energy of the planet to lift us up and over, right, into this next portal. Now imagine that every one of these 7.3, whatever we are, billion, each have their own solar system around them. They each have their own timeline. So we have essentially we'll just use that, 7.3 billion different timelines going on. For example, I'm here and Sam's in Minnesota and Tina's in, oh, Richard's here. God, Richard's in New Zealand. I love it. And Chrissy's in Georgia and Shelley's in Utah. Sam's in Minnesota and Tina's in Canada. I mean, we've got all these different timelines that are going on. We all have things in common, and yet our own timelines are our own, right? So we can intermix, like within a body. They all work together, and yet they're all separate and individual. Now, then we have this overarching timeline of what's going on in the planet. We have this theme of what we're going through. And right now, as we move, and it's funny, I've got this circle of light around me, and as we move through this circle of light, this portal that we're moving through, those who are of courage, of light, of being of service are going to move through it. Those who can't squeeze, we've been talking about this, squeeze through this timeline, this portal of energy, are going to create a different timeline. That's okay. I've always had this thought that I needed to keep sharing, because we want to bring and encourage as many people forward as possible. However, I have learned that everybody has their own path, everybody has their own story, everybody is exactly where they need to be, and so we're going to send them love and light, and if they need to go on that timeline as a overarching time, they can. I would recommend, Brooks Agnew, an amazing physicist, scientist, 16 different degrees after his name. He even spoke, I had it on my Twitter feed where Brooks was talking to somebody on Coast to Coast, might have been George Norrie, but he was talking about the two-world theory. So science is even validating what the metaphysicians have been talking about for a long time, that we are moving and then we will split and divide into two different timelines. So what does that mean? This overarching theme of us, the light workers, and those over here that are of what I would say much more of a negative polarity, that are much more in fear, and they just will not even think about shifting their beliefs, opening up their thoughts, staying stuck. No, that's Hillary Clinton. What are you talking about? She's an angel. Well, if they're still in that belief system, they're going to come over here because that's not what the truth is, and that's not what's going to come out. So if they are unwilling to shift, they are going to move and create another timeline, and there are enough of them that will create this other separate earth that will splinter off. I remember reading about this and learning about this and feeling this a long time ago, actually literally at least 10 years ago or more, and that these two timelines, again, this is us, this is the second timeline, that we would split right now through this portal, and that we would go this direction, and we will be on this trajectory up, and this one will kind of take this arc. It's like taking a second tributary off a main river, and will eventually, when they choose to step out of the fear, step out of the constant repeating lifetimes will eventually circle back over and join us as we continue our evolutionary expansion. So I don't know if that explains it, but that's really how I see it. Again, right now we are moving today, this moment, this very second, through this portal of energy. And again, the universe is conspiring us to help. Okay, hold on, Richard, I got to see this. I'm the same and I resonate with me many years ago. Perfect. I love this. I love this. I love the fact that you guys all know each other. Sam, you and Richard should talk. Richard's from New Zealand, awesome guy. Sam's like my twin brother. Fantastic stuff. I love this. And of course, all the women. I love you all. So think about this. What kind of timeline do you want to create? That's where today is January, tomorrow's February, and then you start individually and then us collectively start creating the timelines that we want, which is, again, we walk through this door, we're going up the stairs, we're climbing Kilimanjaro, we're up in where the air is thinner, but we can totally adapt. We can breathe. No more masks, no more mandates, no more separation. Enough of that. Go hug your neighbors, go hug your family, go hug and love, because when we love and share that energy, we help the earth, we help each other. It's so exciting. So now, going back to my question, I hope that's understanding. So, beings from other realms, these are kind of the questions. Beings from other realms are being, oh, that's right. The Matrix is, think about the Matrix. It was, who would have thought it was a documentary? I put that on Facebook, and it's really true. Because remember at the beginning of the movie, and everything, all the numbers drop, the Matrix. Well, that's what's happening with these timelines. They're starting to dissolve. And because of this, again, this is just a construct that we have all decided is real. And when we are changing our beliefs, those constructs start to come down. We are starting to see, and images are being captured of fairies that are outside buildings or on near flowers or up by lights around people's houses, because the digital cameras now can capture that, which is really cool. And then we have, I was with one of the gals I was with today, she was explaining that she was driving by and all of a sudden this man kind of just showed up and had this long cape on and a staff. He's kind of looking around like, where am I? A time traveler from another place that got displaced through the timelines. Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, all timelines are happening right now. All your lives are active right now. So where we are focused right now is right here. However, we started to focus on another timeline, another time frame. And what's really cool, there are documents that the CIA have, I've got them on my computer somewhere, of how they do this through visualization. They can literally jump out of this timeline and move someplace else. Not that I'd recommend it because we need to be here now. But my point is that, and the matrix as it comes down can then allow us to see these other realms, the fairy realms, people that have passed on that are living in the same place in space but not visible. So this is our opportunity. My invitation is, if you have to put on your glasses into, a funny pair of glasses, for example, messages, put on your special glasses to say, okay, I can see this. I can see these various creatures. I can see the other realms. And by you being a participant, an active participant in the matrix, in your focus, then again, the matrix starts to drop and you're able to see and be a part of the bigger picture, which is really cool. Now, we had questions about the matrix and the timelines. Okay, 2 timelines currently makes, I love this, makes my mind hurt. Can you break it down? How many timelines? Well, right now, as a collective, we're looking at 2 timelines. However, in reality, like I said, we have 7.3 billion timelines that are being active because we are all individuals. We're all part of the one collective, but we're all individuals at the same time. So because of that, we each have our own timelines that are being active right now. Now, these are great questions. Lower vibrational timelines. What do I need to do to vibe up? If you happen to be living in a lower vibrational timeline, and actually right now, I don't believe any one of you in this group right now are literally vibing in a lower vibrational energy field. However, we can get angry, we can get frustrated, we get pissed off, we can get sad, we can become depressed, all of those emotions. Those do lower our vibrations and kind of send us off the path. So what can we do? We come back over here, we visualize ourselves, in our light, connected to source, grounded to the crystal core, and then clear out all the negative, just kind of push it out with love and light beyond that boundary of light around us. And then see yourself on the top of that mountain and having the ability to look down at the ants below you, right? Literally out of the chaos, so that you are of the world. How's that go? You're of the world, but not of the world. You're part of the world, but not of the world. You know what I'm saying. You can look down and you're not part of the chaos. And that actually then, deep breath, oxygenate, and then you literally raise your frequencies. You raise your vibrations. Then start thinking about all the people that you love, all the animals you love, all the things you love about being in body, and how excited you are to be here, even if it's an off day, because there still can be things that are positive. For example, one thing I put into my daily construct actually is a cup of tea, actually a couple cups of tea, because when I step into that zone, I just go into my Zen. So it's become part of my daily meditation, if you will. So that brings me joy. What are the things that you can slide into your day that bring you joy? When you do that, up go your vibrations. And again, when we're done tonight, I really invite all of you to open up that door in your mind and walk through. Maybe we can do a quick visualization at the end and see yourself as part of this new this new energy field, this new vibrational field. Now today, when we did the visualization, my third eye actually hurt, so I was feeling any calcification that I had left on my pineal gland breaking up, which is really cool. So we can do that too. We can do that. I think we can do that. Okay, lower vibrational timelines. What do I need to do to vibe up? Which is I just answered. I love this question. Can I be demoted? Can I be demoted out of a good timeline and down to the lower? Well, yes, because I think there have been a lot of people that came in to this life, not necessarily you, my dear, but those who have been out there in the world, they were doing well, and then they got bribed, then they got blackmailed, and then they got caught up with power and money and greed, and they were doing well, and then they dropped. We talked about this a couple weeks ago with those who came in under the yellow frequency of empowerment. They came in here, they could have absolutely empowered others, and they chose instead to disempower. So they got demoted, if you will, and they're going to be on that second boat out of here into that other timeline, and that's okay, because they chose that on purpose so that they could learn from them. It's all about experiential moments. That's what life is about, experiential moments. Great question, by the way. Can I be demoted? And then it says, how can we ensure we are always on the highest and best timeline? How you can ensure it is checking in with yourself intuitively every day, checking in to see how you feel emotionally, mentally, and physically. And then the spiritual is an aspect of that, but those are the most important, because again, we're physical beings. So how am I on a scale of 1 to 10? Of course, everybody, I'm very linear and analytical. So of course I do the 1 to 10 thing. So how am I feeling today, 1 to 10? You could always, left hand, right hand over your heart, and go forward, yes, and backwards is no. You can ask yourself, but you have to be in alignment. Remember, that alignment is very important. And then your heart will tell you true. And then you can say, oh, I'm only at a 3. Oh, this is not good. So, okay, what can I do to change my vibing today at a 3 emotionally? Okay, where am I emotionally sad or disgruntled? And then actively, mindfully aim for that space that creates the happiness, that creates the joy. And again, it could be something as simple as drinking a cup of tea. It could be going out for a walk with your kids, or with your animals, or your friends, or calling somebody. Think about the things that bring you joy on a daily basis, an hourly basis, and put that into your, I know everybody's busy. I know everybody's working, and they're trying to juggle too many things. And yet, if you don't get oxygen on you, you can't take care of anybody else. So because otherwise it becomes an excuse, right? So you have to, every hour, carve out 5 minutes for you, 5 minutes. And it could be that you're going to the bathroom. Okay, so you have 5 minutes in the bathroom by yourself. Go in there, clear out your energy, activate, connect, think of something positive, then go back to your day. No more excuses. Take 5 minutes every hour for yourself, and by the end of the day, imagine that 12 times 5, you've got an hour's worth of energy that you just collected for you. It's literally oxygen on, it's IVs of energy into your soul. So important. So that is my invitation to all of you between now and next Monday, and the following Monday, and the following Monday, and the following Monday. Time for you. No more excuses. Okay, did I get all the questions? Because these are so good. Okay, anybody else in the timeline or out there? Yeah, a micro vacation, exactly. Dancing, time travelers are popping up. 2028 ones seem to be appearing. Very cool. Yes, okay. I'm glad I read this. Time travelers. Okay, so on a certain level, let's look at it this way. Think about this. That time travelers, us, from our future timelines, have come back in time to this time frame to awaken us so that we don't go down that timeline, so that we stay on this one. Because when we went down that timeline, we impacted not only the Earth, the solar system, our galaxy, and our universe, we impacted everybody else's, every other planet, every other group within us, because we're all connected. So what if our future selves came back here so that we don't get hooked up to AI, so we don't get hooked up into all these vaccines that take out our emotional components, so that we don't get hooked into the negative aspects of what this is over here. So our future self, your time travelers, Richard, absolutely, from the future are back to help us to stay awakened. So great thing. I'm glad I checked over there. Let's see, am I missing anything? At the same time, resonated with me many years ago. Love it. False narratives. No kidding me. No kidding. There are so many. Yeah. Bathroom break. See, when you use the bathroom break, no excuses, right? You can't say, I don't have time, because everybody has to pee. And if you drink enough, which we should be, it should be every hour. When you do that, you have 5 minutes. Think about that. You're gaining an hour a day just for you. And imagine that as the parallel. How perfect is this? It's like us right now on the shortest day of the year, that we will soon be in 3 days starting to gain light. So use that as the cross reference, the mirror into your own life, that by taking those 5 minutes every day, it's like gaining light. You're adding to your soul's energy, which is so exciting. So we're going to do a quick visualization. How's that? You can just take take a deep breath, get comfortable, because I want to extend this global solstice that has been going on. You know, the meditations, the visualizations have been going on for the last 2 days, like nothing we've ever seen. It's just helping raise the frequencies of the planet, because good thoughts, they can measure this on computers, literally help raise things up. So if we continue it tonight from New Zealand to Canada to Minnesota to Georgia to Oregon to Utah, we can change and add to that positive change and continue this. So again, I want you to start thinking about Kilimanjaro, Kathmandu, right? Mount Shasta, all of those places that you want to be on top. And I can't remember the name of the mountain in New Zealand. Sorry, Richard, I need help with that. I know there's a big one down on the South Island. Anyway, or the North, I think it's the South Island. Anyway, visualize yourself up there and breathing oxygen and being free sovereign beings. Okay, so I want everybody just to relax. Okay, we already cleared out our chakras. Just take a deep breath and visualize growing long roots from your feet down into the earth, connecting into the crystalline core of the planet. And just sit there in the crystals for a moment and breathe in their energy and their connectivity and their ability to mirror into our emotions, into our beings, into our souls. And that energy then helps to sustain and energize our physicality. It also awakens our intuition, our strength, and our vitality. I want you to bring that crystalline energy up through your feet and feel it pulsing throughout your entire body and up through your head. Just feel it, every cell filling full of crystalline energy. And now we're going to raise that energy back up. All of us, we're raising back up to the surface, up through the substrata of the planet. And we're now back on top of the planet. We've got our feet anchored in And our energy from the crystal is in our pineal gland, and we're going to send it out into the galactic center, and we're going to connect in with all the stardust of what we are created from, and we're going to energize all of that and bring that energy back down into our bodies, connecting the cosmos with the earthly, with the solar system, with our physical, with the sky, with the earth within our beings. Now I want you to bring that energy down through your feet and visualize the ley lines of this planet, the energy grids of this planet that keep us harmonized and keep us free. And I want you to send white light, almost like white lightning, throughout all the grid system around the planet. If you find any areas that are disconnected, reconnect them with your mind. Or if any areas are dark, send white light through the energy grids, literally awakening the ancient ley lines of Earth with our connectivity from around the planet. See them all connected, just like our souls are connected. Activating the Earth in alignment with the cosmos, with this higher frequency of this new portal. Feel that energy within your feet. Feel it vibrating within you, giving you energy as if you were 20 years old. And that energy goes back and forth between the earth and through our bodies. Again, activating up through our body to the pineal, activating our consciousness, and then connecting with the black hole center of our cosmic galactic energy fields, and then back down into our heart and resonating out with love and light. With that, just come on back. We don't have to take long periods of time to make things happen. Quick energy connections are just as valid and just as vital as when you meditate for an hour. A lot of times we don't have that ability to take an hour or 30 minutes or even 15. So 2 to 3 minutes will work great. So just visualize yourself always connected to source. Light through the body, through the feet, to the crystal core, back up through the body, to the heart, and then back down to the feet, to the energy grids of the planet. Because when we tap into them, we become more physically aligned, more active, more clear, more energized, vital, radiant, all of the words. And then what we're doing is letting the earth know, let Gaia know, because she is a living consciousness, that we are working with her and that we are in tandem. When we are in tandem, just imagine all the incredible things that we can create. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I love you all. Thank you. And thanks, Richard, for showing up from New Zealand. That's so fantastic. And all of you guys from all over. In fact, I don't think, I have a few people here in Oregon too, which is really great. So I love you all, seriously. So happy solstice. I mean, this is a special, special day. And I am going to put my shoes on and my coat on and go back out and see if I can see it, because when I pulled up to my house from being out in the desert today, the clouds had covered it. So I'm going to see if I can see that conjunction of those two planets to create that Star of Bethlehem. So with that, I will see you next Monday. And we'll be between, because then the following week we'll have our full moon. Our full moon is in Cancer, which will be all about family and emotions and relationships. So right now we are moving towards that, of course, with Christmas and the holidays. So I invite all of you just to have the most wonderful time with your family, with your friends. Hug everybody. Seriously. No more masks, no more none of that. No more fear. Just embrace and be encouraged about how exciting life is and where we are going, and trust. You've heard this before. Trust the plan. The plan's working. The bigger plan to vibrate at higher levels, which means those lower vibrational entities that have been controlling the planet, which are still controlling in a lot of ways the narrative, we'll no longer be able to breathe our oxygen. So love you guys. Thanks, Tina, from where, and I don't know where, Yelena, I don't know where you are. You need to remind me where you are, because I know you're not from here. Not from Oregon. And Tina's, of course, from Canada. So love you guys. Thanks for being here. And Tina's very late there. So love you. See you next week. Oh, you are in Portland. Oh, so you are here. Fantastic. Thanks, dear. I appreciate you letting me know. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you. Have a lovely Christmas. Love you. Night.